Good morning.
Oh, morning. How are you guys?
I will give people a few minutes to join. All right, we have quorum. All right, so I saw from last week that Cesar Martinez is now our lifecycle and provisioning chair. That's excellent. If I was there to vote, I would have voted yes as well. I had already had that discussion with him. So does anyone have any agenda? I do not have any agenda items today. Myself. Does anybody have an agenda item today?
Unfortunately, I did not. I was able to talk to Michael Lynch about if there's anyone who might be available to be at the OPI booth at the
OCP
summit there in Dublin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the OCP summit. Yeah, so far I know he can't be there personally. I am seeing if there's a backup person from Intel out of our Shannon site who can go.
Okay.
But right now it's not looking too great. So just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for checking.
So should we still retain the booth, or we can consider giving it up? A lot of people are asking.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have anybody that's planning to be there, so
Or should I wait for a few more days?
I didn't tell here. I'll put out a kind of last call if we are willing to wait a couple more days.
Okay.
And I can say, like, if we can't commit, let's say by Tuesday next week, then we'll have to give up the booth.
Okay. Awesome, Miles. I'll wait for your message until Tuesday then, yeah.
Just for the record, I also asked around Intel. Sorry, not Intel, at Red Hat.
Okay.
Amongst the people kind of close to me, and nobody's planning to go, unfortunately.
okay.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, one announcement is I will not be in the TSC call next week on the 13th. I'll be in the middle of traveling again.
Safe travels.
So just to let you guys know, when I don't show up, it's that's why.
Okay, sounds good.
And I think so one topic that I think we need to do upcoming is we need to have NVIDIA explain how the components of their latest DPU announcement can interact in a useful way with OPI. And I guess I'll ask NVIDIA if they can come and do that in 2 weeks, because I want to be in attendance for that one. So on the 20th. Anything else people want to see for topics over the next couple or 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's one of the topics I want to hear about as well.
Okay. Yeah, because Laud pointed everyone to the announcement and said a few words and said, this is great for OPI. And what I want to do is hear what the next level of thinking is on, the OPI interaction, how it's good for OPI. All right, anyone else? Any discussion topic, upcoming agenda items and so on?
I don't have anything, Joe.
But I suppose one thing we ought to discuss at some point is the lab and current lab usage and so on, and just do a review of that and see if there's any other value OPI could be getting out of the lab. So that's a topic that ought to be discussed. I don't want to put anyone on the spot and try to discuss that today, but that would be a future topic that's useful.
Yeah. So on that, I think there was some suggestion, if I remember, if it's in governing board or in TSC, to collaborate with other projects also to improve the utilization of the lab. I don't remember whether it was TSC or board, but that was one of the suggestions. Maybe we can explore that point to improve the lab utilization. Maybe if you want to do some works in collaboration with other projects.
Well, there's maybe a project we could help out by showing them that yes, they can run a shared lab rather than trying to run, labs inside of each company, which is all perilous due to internal company structure and funding, let's call it. So, but they're saying, oh, we don't see how that would work. And the OPI lab, to its great credit, has an example of exactly how that works. I mean, the lab has equipment and it's functional and it's useful. And so that's one place where we can collaborate across a little bit more of the Linux Foundation on this. Yes, Asim.
Yeah, hi. So I just wanted to propose that maybe we can try and set up maybe a 5G setup in our lab.
Sorry, you broke up for
shift
me.
as well, and we'll have to. So, am I audible?
You were breaking up, at least for me. So
I can hear you clear.
No,
So
but
I was saying that maybe we can like try and set up maybe a 5G setup or something like OpenShift in the lab. So we'll have a couple of industry softwares that we can demonstrate or add in our lab setup that we can show how like they can be used with OPI.
okay. Thoughts from anyone?
No, I don't see why not.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, sounds fine. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, but there the question is like now who will do the work kind of a thing, right? Say for example, if you take the use case of 5G, that if you want to showcase the UPF offloading on DPUs or IPUs kind of a thing, it's a lot of work to showcasing those things with the 5G scenarios. Uh, unless if those workloads are provided by some vendors and if they can join us and showcase that activity in our lab, the UPF offloading, some of the Ericssons or Nokias of the world, that's which much more straightforward to doing it. But with open sources, it could be very challenging.
Well, I mean, we have at least fair. So again, this goes along with the collaborating with other
Yeah.
big foundation projects. If we have, I mean, if we have someone who wants to understand how the lab works and come in and use part of the lab time, I think we'd be open to that.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go after that one.
Okay.
Um,
And so one more thing, just Joe, I think we can take up in future sometime. In 2025, in governing board, it was decided from the TSC also at the end of December that ease of consumption should be the priority for 2025. So around that line, the big statement of ease of consumption, do we want to create a strategy from the TSC point of view? What all will constitute under this ease of consumption activity, and how do we want to reach that goal in 2025? What are the activities that we should plan, maybe at our group level or at the TSC level? Should we start discussing that sometime?
yeah, so we actually have thinking on that in a couple of the plan outlines we created last year. What we should do is bring those back again and structure them to say, here are the things we shall do for ease of use. And the question is always, how do we get people to sign up to do them? Right. So the key for OPI is always getting someone to sign up to do it. And we're able to do that when, one of our member companies is interested in that project for other reasons and wants it to be public. So for any of our initiatives, that's the requirement to get something done. So for this one, we can come back and say, here are the things we ought to do, and then we can see if we have an alignment with member companies to actually get them done.
I think hearing from NVIDIA again will help on that, how that project, DPF project might fit into that ease of use.
Right. So Mike Dubman, Alad talked to us on the 16th, January 16th, about the NVIDIA DPF release. And he said that there was potential in that release for OPI. So he said lab and interoperability tie-in, work with DPF operators, integrated into OPI. And we had said at that time that NVIDIA, meaning Alad, would bring a proposal for more specifics on the OPI tie-ins. And I referred to this earlier, but since you're on, can you go back into NVIDIA and talk with Arin and Alad and figure out when to bring that forward? Ideal would be the meeting 2 weeks from now. So on the 20th of February. So if you're trying,
sure, yes. Do you hear me?
yes, now I hear you.
Oh yeah, sorry, double mute. Yes, sure. I will check it internally and we will update.
Okay. All right, so I'll put that as
Right.
2024 and all right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So Tim, maybe that building the potential work items for DPEs of use could start next week in the TSC. We can pull up the documents that we built. If you recall, middle of last year, that we had a number of documents and outlines. I could have a meeting with you to set that up. Since you're co-chair, you and I could have a meeting either tomorrow or Monday early. But we can go on Slack and discuss that. And at
Sounds
least
fine, Joe. We can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, let's do Monday early. Okay. All right. If no one has anything else, going once, twice, gone. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a safe next week.
Right.
Yeah, you
So-
too. Travel safe.
Thank you. Bye.